Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about how to factor using the X method. This is on page 87 in your journals, and today's February 24th. I filmed this during class, it didn't work out, so here I am in an empty room filming it. Super awkward, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Alright, so the first thing you want to do for this one is you need to identify A, B, and C. So how you do that is A is the coefficient, that means the amount of x squared. B is the coefficient of x, and C is the number without x or y. Alright, now, a couple things. This, you can only identify them if the equation is in y equals. The equation must be in y equals or 0 equals. Either one of those, but that's how the equation has to look like for you to tell what the A and B and C are. So we'll do an example, and this is also an Ed puzzle number 4. So for example, if it's like this, I circle, squiggly, underline. The one that I circle is x squared. The one that I squiggly is the one with x. And the one that I underline doesn't have x or y. So this one does not have x or y. That's my circle because it's x squared. This is my x, so squiggly. So then my A is the one I circle. So how many x squares are there? There's 1 there because I can see 1, but it's negative, so it's negative 1. B squiggly is 7. And C is 14, the one that you underline. Now, let's do another one. What if it says x squared minus 25 equals 0? Okay, so I circle this. This is an underline, but there's no squiggly, and that's fine. Sometimes there won't be a squiggly. This one's equal to 0, which is what we want. So my A, there's 1x squared there because I can see 1x squared there. There's no squiggly, so that equals to 0. And C equals to negative 25 because it's negative. All right, so what if, let's do another one. It looks like this. All right, so I circle, squiggly, underline, circle, squiggly, underline. Now, this is not a y equals like the first one. It's not equal to 0. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to solve. This needs to be 0. Because I'm finding factors, and factors is a way to get to the zeros. So I have to move this. So I'm going to move it to the side. To move that, and it needs to equal 0, the only way to go from 12 to 0 is I do minus 12 equals 0 minus 12. Then I bring everything down. This side has to equal 0. So that's why I did minus 12, because 12 minus 12 is 0. So x squared minus 4x minus 12. Now I can circle, squiggly, underline. Circle, squiggly, underline. My A is 1, my B is negative 4, and my C is negative 12. That's my first step. My second step from here is I'm going to make an X with top and bottom numbers. It matters what you put in the top, and it matters what you put in the bottom. All right, so you make a big X. What goes in the top is A times C. What goes in the bottom is B. To get these on this side, these are the factors. That's a factor, that's a factor. Now, these factors, the reason it's called magic X is because these factors multiply to give you the top number, and they add to give you the bottom number. It's not actually magic, it's math, but we call it magic X. All right, so for this problem, I'm going to use this problem right here. I make an X. Now, this X is due for every problem that you do in IXL. You multiply A times C, that equals to negative 12. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. The bottom number is B, which is negative 4. Now, to get these numbers, what you do is you need to make a list. That's a step number 3. List of factors of top number. So my top number is negative 12. So I make a list of the factors. So here are my list of factors, and I have to figure out which one is correct. So my list of factors for negative 12 is negative 1, 12, negative 2, 6, negative 3, 4, negative 4, 3, negative 6, positive 2, negative 12, positive 1. So this is my list. I did this in my head. I'll show you a way if you cannot do this in your head, how else you can do this. Now, again, we need to find numbers that multiply. These all multiply to give you negative 12. That's why we make the list, because all of these multiply to give you negative 12. Now, what is our winner chicken dinner is the one that adds to give you negative 4. That's what we put here. The two numbers that multiply to give you negative 12, the top number, but add to give you the bottom number. So if I add this, negative 11, I'm adding each one, and I can do this all in my head. If you can't, you just put that bad boy in the calculator. And I missed this, so it should be positive. Alright, so the one that gives me the negative 4 are these two numbers right here, negative 6 and a positive 2. So my answer is x minus 6 and x positive 2. That's my answers, because if I multiply these, they give me negative 12. If I add them, I get negative 4. If you cannot make the list in your head like I did, what you can do is you can make the list on the calculator. And it's 3 steps. You go to graphs. You type in the top number, whatever the top number is, divided by x, and then you press Control T. And then you can check out the other video, and I'll do an example in that one.